You're my only coworker. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. I have been, as Pastor Mia mentioned, serving in NLK for 21 years since my oldest was a baby and when we first started children's ministry. And then a couple years later, I committed to be a full-time teacher. So this is my 19th year of teaching every Sunday in preschool, and then 7 years of being on the core team with Pastor Mia. That's a lot of time, so I could talk for like 4 hours about my testimony, but for everyone's sake, I'll keep it short and just touch on a few different perspectives, both as a parent and as a volunteer. So, if you are a member of New Life, congratulations, you have no choice but to serve in NLK. Thank you for volunteering. But I do want to encourage all of the parents to remember it is not babysitting, which I have heard. It is actually a ministry. You know, in our house churches, all the focus is on our VIPs, but I just want to remind everyone, let's not forget that our kids are our most important VIPs. Like Pastor Mia mentioned, even if they're born into Christian families, doesn't make them Christian. So they are beloved children of God who are so beloved by Jesus and beloved by us. And God gives us the responsibility to be Jesus to the kids until they know Jesus themselves. So let's not neglect the command that God gives us to raise up our children in the way they should go, and truly consider it an honor and privilege to be our kids' spiritual leaders. I personally had the super joyful experience of leading all 3 of my kids to Christ. 2 were done in a very organic way, and 1 was not. Our house church kids once were watching a Bible Man video during house church, and after it was done, they come down, and 3 of them gleefully announced, "We accepted Jesus!" I'm like, "Oh, what do you mean?" And they said at the end of the video, there was like an invitation to pray, and so in that situation, we had to do some backpedaling, but they're good now. They're fine. 1 is a shepherd. We didn't want Bible Man to be their spiritual leaders, so parents, let's be our children's spiritual leaders. But also, I want to encourage the parents who have no choice but to volunteer in NLK to make the most of your time that you spend in your parent rotation. Talking to our kids about Jesus doesn't come naturally or easily to everybody, so please utilize the examples of your teachers to learn how. Our teachers are really good at communicating about Jesus in ways that are age appropriate, and you can learn from their example how to have conversations with them. Another practical application about being a parent serving in NLK is it gives you the opportunity to get to know the kids in your kids' class. The baby whose diaper you changed, or the toddler who wants to sit in your lap, or the kid that you just reprimanded for being sassy are going to be your kids' lifelong friends. So get to know them. All 3 of my kids have close friends that they have known since they were born from church. So, and I know that there's a lot of house churches where your kid might be the only kid, or your kids don't have kids their own age in house church, so get to know their friends at church. Plan a play date. And on that note, get to know their parents, because we all know that play dates are only fun if the parents are fun. So get to know the kids, get to know their parents. We know it's sometimes hard to meet people outside of our house church circles. And I know from personal experience, it is invaluable to walk through the same ages, phases, and stages with your peers. You know, especially with your firstborn kid, no one knows what they're doing when you're raising that first one. She's not here. When my oldest hit puberty, we were like, is she crazy? Are we crazy? Is everybody crazy? But then some of us moms, I see you guys, we got together and we're like, is your kid crazy? Because my kid's crazy. And they're like, oh, my kid's crazy too. All of our kids are crazy. And so we're like, this is normal. And it was the most comforting thing to us. And we got the girls to talk to each other, and they're like, oh, we're normal too. So just to be able to go through that together was such an encouraging and supportive experience. So if you are a parent with a kid and none of your house church kids are the same age as your kid, I would really encourage you to get to know the other parents. Because surprise, the parents that you're serving with have kids the same age as your kid. And just so you guys know, all those girls are good now. They are fully functional, logical, and reasonable human beings who contribute to society. Thank you. As for being a volunteer, so when I was in college, I went to UT and I served in the toddler class at my church. It actually gave me a deeper sense of belonging in the church body outside of just the college ministry. And I actually got to meet several families who invested in me and encouraged me through some challenging times. So I get really excited when the college kids specifically volunteer to serve. They have good energy, and I really hope that they also feel blessed to be a part of our ministry. And I know that sometimes the college students need non-college student interactions. So talking with other adults or talking with kids, and there's nothing better than being loved by kids, especially the preschoolers, but I might be biased. As for the non-parent volunteers, I want to say I'm super thankful for all the singles and the childless adults that serve in NLK. I was told recently that not everyone likes children. In fact, I was told some people despise children. If you are one of those people, please do not sign up for NLK. But if not, our kids are so loving and so loyal. They love seeing adults say no in the fellowship hall. It's like you're a celebrity. They're like, they didn't just see you 5 minutes ago. I know, like, especially their VBS crew leaders, because all my kids have served as crew leaders, they remember them for like years and years, and when they see each other, they're like so excited, even after spending just 1 week together. So it means a lot for the kids to be loved, especially by people outside of their families, and they're so generous with the love that they give back. I don't know if people know this, but a lot of our elementary school teachers volunteer to follow their classes over the course of several years. I want to give a shout out to them and also ask the parents to please recognize that this is an act of love and service. These teachers really love your kids and are invested in them. I know that as a parent myself, when other adults love your kids, there's nothing more gratifying. So I want to encourage you guys to get to know your teachers and support and show them some love too. So my favorite thing personally, having been a volunteer for 19 years now, I've had the joy of meeting so many families. I usually get to meet their firstborn kid first, and then the parents, and then all the siblings that follow. I really, really love getting to know our families, and each one is truly, truly dear to me. And I think serving over this long period of time has really increased my capacity just in general to love also. Like, in case it's unclear, I really, really love your kids, and serving in this role has been such a blessing, and I say I'm never gonna leave it. I will be Grandma Chris. Last week, are Ryan and Judy here? Oh, last week, Ellie Lay, who is 4, came up to me and said, "So, when did I meet you again?" And I was like, "Oh girl, there has never been a time that I was not in your life." So her dad, Ryan, when he was in college, served in children's ministry with me. He was serving in the baby room and grew very attached to my youngest, Mikey, who was in the purple room. And through that, our family became friends with him and his girlfriend at the time, Judy. And then she ended up giving all my kids piano lessons and even lived with us one summer, and that's the summer that Ryan proposed, actually, in our neighborhood. I threw her bridal shower, coordinated their wedding. Mikey was their ring bearer. Peter was the MC. Then later I threw her a baby shower. Peter hired Ryan multiple times. And then I taught Abby in preschool, and I'm currently teaching Ellie. And then my daughter, Ellie, who they used to babysit, is now Abby's teacher in 2nd grade. Ellie's still in my class, and then my youngest, Mikey, I don't if you know him, he doesn't really like kids, and especially doesn't like babies, but he declared that he loves their baby Isaac. It is his favorite baby. So my kids growing up always called them Uncle Ryan and Judy Mo, but now we can't decide if my kids are their kids' aunts and uncles or big brother or sister, but either way, they love each other, and I think somehow I am their grandma. But the relationship started because a college student served as a volunteer in children's ministry and then developed a friendship with the parents. Isn't that cute? I think that's so cute. We really have the cutest ministry at church, guys, and teaching preschool is one of my greatest sources of joy. I want to say thank you to all of our families for giving me the opportunity to love your kids. Thank you for making children for me and teaching them about Jesus. Please keep having kids, and I'll see all of you soon in NLK.